Yo, what's up, guys? Let's go ahead and cover the brand new information that we have for Season 3 of Diablo 4. You're actually seeing gameplay right now that was revealed in the Campfire chat, and a lot of other things that just came out of the Campfire chat that we just got. I'm going to go ahead and have these rapid fire for you guys really fast. It's going to go over everything that was covered in the Campfire chat. So starting right off, Abattoir of Zoo will not be in this season. And on top of that, there is going to be some future events. You're actually seeing one of the newer bosses that's in this season right now. And on top of that, there's going to be basically three main focuses of newer things. There's going to be vaults, there's going to be tremors, and then there's going to be the gauntlet. So the vaults and the tremors will come out as soon as the season starts. However, the gauntlet will not be coming until later. We don't have a confirmation on the date of that. Now, on top of that, a lot of people want to know about the little pet that you get, the Seneschal. So when do you actually get that? They showed off as early as level 8 that you can acquire the Seneschal. So if that gives you an idea, you can get it pretty much in the early game and progress throughout your entirety. And it will be scaling with your stats so it won't fall off like some of the other like proc abilities. And then on top of that, it has 2 skills that you can equip to it. There are a total of 12 Seneschal skills. So that's going to be a little... I'm just going to go ahead and kind of skim through it. I'm just going to go show you guys mostly the gameplay over here from the Campfire chat. So it's going to have a total, again, of 12 skills, but there are 27 tuning skills that can modify the actual skill. And if you're wondering how do we actually craft them, you basically get random crafts on the skill, and it's basically like the Vampiric powers all over again. If you get a duplicate, it kind of levels it up. I'll show you guys exactly how that looks in a moment. Just kind of want to go ahead and do things rapid fire real quick. So on top of that, in terms of the vaults, they're basically going to be nightmare dungeons. Now, as far as the vaults go, there are going to be 4 vaults. So think of it just kind of like 4 like modified dungeons. And on top of that, if you do not get hit, there are better rewards, but there's no mention of Uber Uniques. If you want to get the Uber Uniques, technically, any area that can drop the Uber Uniques, which is basically as long as the monster is a certain monster level, but it doesn't really make too much of a big difference because you're not going to be getting a Uber Unique from really anything else except for Duriel, and that's going to be pretty much how it goes. So unfortunately, these are just going to be legendaries. If you don't get hit, you get better rewards, but at the end of the day, it's kind of mid, in my personal opinion, in terms of the rewards, because these are supposed to be some new endgame form of content that's going to be able to be accessible once you're in World Tier 3. You're going to have these like nightmare vaults that are going to be a little bit more difficult, but have better rewards. But if the reward is still legendaries, well, I think that it could have been a little bit better, but that's going to be a topic for another day. On top of that, in order to access the Gauntlet, you have to have access to World Tier 4. So they showed off a lot of different things in here, but I'm going to show you guys some of the different traps that you're going to see. Now, as far as the monsters go, they said that they were supposed to be challenging, but more than likely the traps will be the more challenging thing. Depending on the class that you play, depending on your mobility, your movement speed, that can matter. There are newer uniques. There is one unique that they did show off that can give you +4 ranks to your skills. However, that one is a unique stone that you can only acquire, I believe, from doing the newer content. The rest of the Uber Uniques, it's just going to be Duriel again. Snapshots will still actually work at the start of the season, but they will be nerfing those later. And basically, that's going to be the main and important things that I want to go ahead and go over. But you can see these are kind of some of the rewards. But I have some screenshots of things that I wanted to mention that are quite important, as it's going to be related to the kind of what you want to know from the Campfire chat. So as far as it goes, over here, you can see that there's this unearthed vault. So basically, you just go in. It almost reminds me of Diablo 1, where you'd have that and going into hell from town. So that's kind of cool. And then you can see how these little like stones work. So you equip your stone for damage or the activation, and then you have all these other little things to modify and how you actually craft them and what is the crafting material cost here. So as far as the crafting material cost, you guys can see exactly what it costs. So it requires you to have shattered stone, which I'm assuming you get from killing the new like a little mechanical like spider looking things or the scorpions, and then it requires iron chunk. And so this is how we acquire these. Now, if you get the same one, because you can see it says uncertain Seneschal stone cache. So you keep on getting these, and eventually you're going to level all of them up. When you have a higher level, it gives you more damage or less cooldown reduction on that said skill. Now, I didn't really get to talk about the Tremors, but as far as I'm aware of, this is kind of how the Tremor system works. You just go over to an area, you click on it, spawns monsters. It's basically a reskin Balrog monster archetype. You kill it, and you get some extra rewards. But again, no Uber Uniques kind of makes it so it's like, well, what's the point of it, really? However, I do want to go ahead and say that there is a new boss, so that's kind of something cool. And this is kind of how it looks like. If you don't get hit in the vault area when you are traversing it, you can actually get additional rewards. So it's going to favor maybe more ranged playstyles versus melee, and you can kind of get additional rewards by getting these pearl things. So that's kind of the newer system in this season. On top of that, this is the Gauntlet. They didn't show much of it, but you can see, and I want to go over the most important things. It basically looks kind of like a reskin Zir here. So instead of getting that bar to fill up and you can fight the boss, you get score. So you get a bunch of points. So you can see over here on the right side, they were playing I think it was a pulverized druid here. But you don't have to be level 100 for this content, but they said that you want to be level 100. I don't know why you would go into basically a leaderboard thing without being level 100, but they said you could go to the area pre-level 100. But basically, you have a set amount of time, you get a bunch of scores. So you kill monsters, you get score, and at the end, it's going to calculate that score, and it's going to determine what your end game score is, and it'll tell you what you've actually killed, and it shows some sort of reward. What's in there? They did not show that off yet. Now, on top of that, they did reveal pretty much all the stuff in the Battle Pass over here. There is also going to be a Twitch drop, and what's really cool is anyone can participate. It does require you to gift the person some subs. You can either get a sub yourself and then gift one more, or just gift 2 subs, and then you will also get another mount. It's not necessarily a free mount. This one costs money, but it's not directly going to them because it's going to whatever Twitch streamer that you watch, and we'll be streaming, so if you guys want to get your mount, feel free to go ahead and go to my stream. But nonetheless, this is going to be what's in the Battle Pass. I'm kind of curious to know, what do you guys think about these skins here? For me, I'm going to wait for the new, Oni armor that's supposed to be dropping. That looks pretty cool. But these are going to be the Battle Pass skins over here. So they basically revealed everything here. There might be one other variation, if you remember from Season of the Malignant or whatever season. There's variations of the skins where they kind of change the colors, but this is pretty much it. You also get 700 platinum. And then over here, this is actually something kind of important. So let me maybe move my face out of the way here because I think this is really good. So they are not only releasing the patch for the season once the season starts on January 23rd, but there is going to be another mid-season patch over here that's going to add a lot more content here. So remember how they added the Malignant Rings? We may get Vampiric Rings or Vampiric Amulets. I'm not sure what they're going to release them as, but that could be something to look forward to. On top of that, it says it can be legendaries, uniques, or inserted in other ways, 1 per class. So we could get more legendaries and uniques, so that's really cool. And then on top of that, they're going to be doing some balance updates, so buffs, nerfs, and they actually don't plan to really nerf anything that's not a bug. So what this would be more likely is, if you guys remember with Rogue, when they had that super overpowered, I'm just going to go and play some gameplay in the background while I go ahead and talk about it. We had the Tybalt bug where you can get way more combo points. That was not necessarily working as intended. But Ball Lightning was also bugged, and there was an interview with Rod Ferguson and another guy. Basically, the Hoda Barbarian as well as a Ball Lightning Sorceress both will be nerfed. Now, how big is the nerf? We don't know the exact numbers. There's going to be a patch that actually drops tomorrow for the note. So I'll cover that for you guys and let you guys know maybe what classes are going to be the maybe go-to. Obviously, there's going to be some things that may not be working as intended, and then at that point, a tier list is kind of pointless because of bugs, right? Because Ball Lightning is a bugged skill, and that's why it was performing so well. But at the end of the day, that's what it looks like what we're getting here, and that's what was covered in the campfire chat. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys think about this? And on top of that, I will cover all of the uniques and buffs and nerfs in a separate video because they showed some of the uniques here, but I'd rather just cover all one video to not make this video longer than necessary. And on top of that, I'm going to cover all of the brand new uniques in another video. Not only the new uniques, but they are going to be massively buffing some of the rogue ones, which I'm excited about. Specifically, they mentioned Eaglehorn and Windforce, which desperately do need some extra additional love there. But that's going to go and wrap up things for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to be up to date, and you don't want to miss out on that new patch note that is going to be dropping tomorrow that I'll be covering on the channel as well. Take care. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.